Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Bosch WTN83201GB condenser dryer. Now there is this model and there's also the sister model which is the 83200. Pretty much the features and benefits are almost the same between the two, but for the purpose of this video I'll be showing you the 83201. And what I want to do is to show you around the tumble dryer some of the features and benefits that it offers. I'll show you some of the programs that it's got and really why it's one of the best selling tumble dryers that we offer. So I've got it plugged in, let's have a look. So the first thing I'll show you is the control panel, and you've got the control dial in the middle, and this also acts as the on and off switch. So it doesn't matter which way you turn it, you can turn it clockwise or anti-clockwise, doesn't matter. But first of all, when you turn the machine on, you'll see you've got a nice display here. So it's a red display, it's nice and easy to read. This is fairly common on quite a lot of Bosch appliances. This is part of the Series 4 range in Bosch's range of appliances. So if you've got a Series 4 range washing machine, then hopefully this should match up and should look almost identical to this, which is always a good thing. But when you come around to the programs, so this actually has something called Sensor Dry built in. And the main advantage of Sensor Dry is that when you put the clothes in, it will actually detect how long is needed for the program. So although this is an initial, put my teeth back in, this is an initial time of around 2.5 hours for the Cupboard Dry Plus, then there is a good chance that it won't take that long, but that always shows a maximum time, but it will actually adjust the time according to the load size, and also it depends on how damp the clothes are. If you've got a washing machine that only spins at say 1000 spin, then clearly it will take longer than if you've got a machine that's a 1400 spin. And also it depends on which setting you've got. So I'll cover some of these. So you've got things like the Cupboard Dry, Cupboard Dry Plus, so clearly with these, that's in the cotton section. This is probably the most popular option that people use. So the Cupboard Dry is a useful program for a full load, so you can dry up to an 8 kilogram load with any of these programs. And what this will do is that will get the clothes ready so that you can take them out and put them straight into the cupboard. I know it's pretty obvious by the name of the program. The next one is called Iron Dry, and what that does is that will leave the clothes slightly damp. So if you've got things like blouses or shirts or trousers that you want to iron, ideally they want to be slightly damp, they don't want to be bone dry. So what this will do is this will actually get them, and it will leave them so they're slightly damp. So if you've selected this program and you're not sure why everything is coming out slightly damp, then that's why. You do need to select one of these programs. As you come around to these different options, some of these loads are not really designed for a full 8 kilogram load. So although the time is a lot less, you're looking at around an hour for those, then you will find on some of the programs things like the especially some of the easy care programs, as you come around to this side, then these are designed for around 3.5 kilograms. So the mixed load is really designed for loads consisting of cotton and synthetic fabrics. But what you'll find is that's really for a maximum of around 3 kilograms. So again, if you've put a full load in here, and if it's taken a lot longer than the 58 minutes, then that's really because it's not designed for loads much over 3 kilograms. Now at the bottom here, you have got the timed programs, and with these ones, then I mentioned about the Sensor Dry, which personally I think is a great option. Sensor Dry has been around for several years and it has so many advantages. You're not having to guess the time, it's a lot more energy efficient, so you're not drying clothes for a lot longer than needed, and also especially if this is out in a garage, it saves having to go to the garage and the clothes are not quite dry and then you have to put them back on. It's all a hassle with a time dryer. This is why I'm a huge advocate of a sensor dryer. But you have got, at the bottom here, you've got the timed option. What you can do is you've got the warm and the cold, and for both of these all you do is you will select the program duration, and it goes up in 10-minute increments. And what Bosch have done is they've put these on because they still find that there is a market for people that want to select the time manually. Now that's a great option, especially at the moment. The weather isn't that great. It's been raining for quite a few days, and this is really where people use the tumble dryers. But if you've had something in the cupboard for a while and you just want to give it a good airing, then rather than hanging it out on the line, just stick it in there. And clearly you wouldn't need it on for an hour and 50 minutes, but just to show you that this program actually goes up to 3 hours. So you can dry for up to 3 hours if you want to, and then it goes back to 20 minutes. So if you just want to air something for 20 minutes, then just pop it in there. And it doesn't use the sensor on these programs, but it's nice to have the option. As you come around to some of these other programs, these again are manual time programs, so that's 40 minutes and then 15 minutes. And with the shirts program, so that's really designed for, say, a maximum of 5 shirts, which will be around 1 kilogram. And as I mentioned earlier, this is really for what they call the easy care option. So these are really designed for the synthetic fabrics as opposed to the cotton type of fabrics. And these programs are only 3.5 kilograms as the maximum load, as opposed to 8 kilograms around this side. But what I will do now is I'll show you the functions on here. So if I just go back to the cupboard dry. So the drying level is quite an interesting one. People find that they like to have their clothes at different drying levels, and clearly with a sensor dry, apart from selecting one of the manual options, then you don't really have a lot of say in how dry the clothes are. And I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but what Bosch have done is they've put this button on here called drying level, and what this will do is it will actually increase the drying time by small increments, and it will actually allow you to increase the time if you want it slightly drier. So I'll just show you. So as standard it was 2 hours 17. The first level increases it to 2 hours 22, 2:27 and then 2:32. So it's not adding a huge amount of time on, but that time can make a huge difference to how dry the clothes are. And what you will find is if you leave it on that, if you turn the dryer off, then if you put it back on the same program, then it will actually remember that for next time you come to use it. Because what you'll find is if that's something you want to use all the time, then that could be quite annoying having to set it for every time you want to dry. So that's something that is on there. I don't know how many people would use that, but that's really the sort of thing that after a couple of drying loads that you will find that if you need to use it, then you've always got the option. So the next button on here is the program duration. I've pretty much already covered that really with the manual time programs. The finish in, so this is a time delay option, and what you can do is you can actually delay the program, and this is actually when it will finish, it's not when it will start. So quite a few tumble dryers and washing machines that have a time delay, this is when it will start, but this is taken into account the actual drying cycle time, and this is when it will finish. So it just makes life a little bit easier trying to work out when you want it to finish. So this can go up to 24 hours. I will just show you that. So if you use things like economy 7, where you want cheap electricity during the night, then this is always a good option. So you just select that. So it can go up to 24 hours, and then the next option will be to go back to the standard time. You've got the reduced ironing option, that's the next one. So it doesn't add any extra time, but what this will do is it will actually rotate every now and then. It doesn't say how long it will do it for, so after the program has finished, it will actually rotate on an odd occasion. It's normally about every 3 or 4 minutes, for up to 60 minutes after the program has finished. So again, if you've used things like the time delay, and if the clothes are going to be sitting in there for a while, then I'd normally recommend selecting the reduced ironing, because that will just rotate the clothes. It doesn't go through any more drying, but it just reduces the amount of creases that are in the clothes. The next option is the low heat, and that's really if the clothes that you're drying you don't need on a full heat, then you've got the option on here for the low heat setting as well. And the last one is the start and the reload. Now the reason they put the reload option on is if you start the program, and if after say 10 or 15 minutes you just go and open the door, then it actually stops the sensor. And I would always recommend, if you do need to put something else in, then just press the reload option, because it will actually pause it and it will actually remember the sensor settings for the program. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but what you will find is that if you just open the door during the program, put something else in, then it will take quite a bit longer to dry. So on the left hand side here we've got the water container. So this is where all of the water is stored after it's done the drying cycle. So all you've got is you've got the handle. It's a nice easy grip handle. Just pull this out and you just go to a sink or a drain and just empty it. All of the water will come out of there at the back. There is an indicator on the front display to show you when to empty it. And a common question is, how often do we need to empty it? But of course that depends on how big the load is, how wet the clothes are. So you could find it could be after every 2 or 3 dries. For smaller loads then it could be after every 5 or 6. So to open the door, you've got the nice big recessed handle in the door itself, and all you do is you just pull it. What I do really like about the Bosch appliances is you've still got the metal hinges, and I know you can't see it, but you've got the metal door catch as well. It's little things like this that can make a huge difference to the reliability of the dryer. You will find that some of the cheaper dryers on the market don't have metal hinges, they have plastic hinges, and these can be the first things to break. But you've got a nice big porthole here, so it makes it nice and easy to get the clothes in and out of. You have got the filter in the front, so that just pulls out, and we recommend really after every drying load to have a look in here, take any of the fluff or the lint that is in there, and so just go and take that out and get rid of it, and then put that back in there. You have also got the condenser unit, so really the only other maintenance apart from emptying the water, cleaning the fluff filter, and the only other maintenance really on this one is this at the bottom, and this is actually the condenser unit. So all you do is you basically put the flap down, take that off the front, and you'll find that towards the back you've got the condenser unit. And with this is a fairly standard feature on condenser dryers. You don't tend to get them on heat pump dryers. Well, you do get these, but a lot of them are self-cleaning. But on these ones you do have to clean it. And what the manufacturer will recommend is first of all to get like a paintbrush, just to get any lint or fluff that's on it around the outside. So just get that out, and also put it under a cold tap just to rinse it and clean it. It is recommended to do that. You don't have to do it as often as the main fluff filter, but keep this nice and clean, because this can have an effect on how energy efficient the tumble dryer is. The longer you leave it, and if you go to it and it's all clogged up, then you will find that the tumble dryer is having to work a lot harder to dry the clothes. And to put that back in, just make sure you locate it at the back. That just sits back in there. That cover just goes on, and then you just shut the door. So I'll just show you around the back of the tumble dryer, and you've got the mains lead here, so that's just on the left hand side. It is quite a good length, so hopefully you shouldn't need to do any adjustments to it or extend the lead at all. The other thing really to point out, I know I've mentioned earlier about the water sitting in a container within the tumble dryer and then you have to go and empty it. With this dryer you do actually get this as well. This is a drain hose kit, well, they call it an accessory drain set. And really what this is for, you can actually connect it at the bottom here. I won't actually do it, but you can connect this drain hose to the dryer, and the main advantage is if you have got a water outlet, so if this is near to a washing machine and if you've got, say, a standpipe or a water outlet, then connect this, and what you'll find is just a lot easier, that after each drying cycle then the water will actually drain out automatically, rather than having to worry about all of the water being stored in the container and then having to empty it. If you're thinking of buying one of these dryers, then I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Bosch WTN83201GB condenser dryer. Please give us a thumbs up on a YouTube video, leave any comments below. I do always ask for comments, whether it's good or bad, about the video itself, or if you've got one of these dryers, if you're thinking about buying one, then leave me a comment, let me know what you think, or if you've got any questions about the dryer, then ask away and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.